Welcome to the Atlas Exercise Bodyweight Workout. This is Series 5B, focusing on core stability leading to power. This video covers Part B, Core Control, featuring 4 exercises: crunch, reverse crunch, lying leg lift, and flutter kicks. We are focusing on core stability to power in this part of the Atlas Exercise Bodyweight Workout. Crunch. Scroll historical background. The crunch became widely popular in the 1970s to 80s during the bodybuilding boom led by figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It emerged as a safer alternative to the full sit-up, which was later criticized for excessive hip flexor strain and lumbar stress. There is no single documented inventor. It evolved as coaches refined abdominal training for safety. Name origin. Crunch refers to the short, compressed spinal flexion motion, like crunching something inward. It emphasizes a small, controlled contraction rather than a full torso lift. Classical building anthropological relevance. Trunk flexion helps with rising from the ground, protecting internal organs, curling during impact. But humans did not evolve to perform repetitive high-volume spinal flexion, so dosage matters. Anatomical heart, physical benefits. Primary, rectus abdominis activation, upper abdominal strength, spinal flexion control. Secondary, improved mind-muscle connection, core awareness. When done correctly, posterior pelvic tilt plus controlled movement. Crunches reduce hip flexor dominance compared to sit-ups. Bar graph, useful data. EMG research shows crunches activate rectus abdominis effectively. Sit-ups show higher hip flexor activation. Smaller range flexion reduces lumbar stress compared to full sit-ups. Quality greater than reps. Brain mental benefits. Teaches controlled contraction. Builds focus on precision. Reinforces breath coordination. The first exercise is the crunch. Lie on your back with knees bent. Curl your rib cage toward your pelvis, focusing on your abdominal muscles to lift your body. Return with control. Remember to focus on engaging your abdominal muscles during the crunch, not straining your neck or using your arms to pull yourself up. Perform the crunch by curling your rib cage towards your pelvis and lowering back down with control. The key to the crunch is using your abs, ensuring a controlled movement both up and down. Ensure a proper setup for the crunch. Lie on your back with knees bent. Reverse crunch. Scroll historical background. The reverse crunch evolved as trainers sought better lower abdominal engagement with less spinal compression. Popularized in late 20th century physique training and later reinforced in functional fitness circles. Name origin. Reverse, because instead of torso moving toward legs, the pelvis moves toward the rib cage. The motion reverses the traditional crunch pattern. Classical building anthropological relevance. Pelvic control is essential for walking mechanics, running, climbing, kicking. The lower abdominals stabilize the pelvis during locomotion. Anatomical heart, physical benefits. Primary, lower abdominal activation. Posterior pelvic tilt strength, reduced hip flexor dominance. Secondary, lumbar spine protection when controlled. The key is curling the pelvis, not swinging the legs. Bar graph, data insight. Studies show posterior pelvic tilt movements increase lower abdominal activation compared to simple leg raises without tilt. The tilt is the exercise. Brain mental benefits. Teaches awareness of pelvic position. Improves control over momentum. Requires slower tempo. Next is the reverse crunch. Lie on your back with knees bent and feet on the floor. Contract your lower abs to lift your hips and bring your knees to your chest. Return with control. A key point for the reverse crunch is to initiate the movement with your lower abdominals. Avoid using momentum or swinging your legs. Contract your lower abs during the reverse crunch to lift your hips and bring your knees to your chest. The setup for the reverse crunch involves lying on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Return slowly with control after performing the reverse crunch, moving back to the starting position. Lying leg lift. Scroll historical background. Widely used in gymnastics, martial arts, and military training. Popular in 20th century calisthenics systems and later adopted by bodybuilding communities. No single creator evolved through bodyweight training traditions. Label name origin. Literal description. Lifting legs while lying supine. Now, the lying leg lift. Lie flat on your back, legs straight, with hands under your hips for support. Engage your lower abs to lift straight legs towards the ceiling. During the lying leg lift, keep your lower back pressed into the floor throughout the movement. This protects your spine and engages your core effectively. Lift straight legs towards the ceiling by engaging your lower abs in the lying leg lift. The setup for the lying leg lift requires lying flat on your back with legs straight and hands under your hips. Lower your legs slowly and with control without touching the floor during the return phase of the lying leg lift. Maintain core engagement throughout the entire range of motion for the lying leg lift. One of my favorite exercises, the flutter kicks. Scroll historical background, common in conditioning drills for United States Navy training, military boot camps, combat conditioning programs, designed for endurance and resilience. Name origin. Named for the rapid alternating leg motion resembling fluttering. Simple and descriptive. Classical building anthropological relevance. Simulates rapid kicking swimming motions, sustained leg elevation. It reinforces hip flexion endurance and core bracing. Anatomical heart physical benefits. Primary, lower abdominal endurance, hip flexor stamina, core stabilization under fatigue. Secondary, cardiovascular stimulus. It blends strength plus endurance. Bar graph data insight. High repetition flutter kicks elevate heart rate while maintaining abdominal engagement, making them a hybrid strength conditioning drill. However, if lumbar arching occurs, spinal stress increases. Control greater than speed. Brain mental benefits. Builds grit. Trains sustained discomfort, tolerance. Enhances rhythm and breathing control. Military programs use it not just for strength, but for resilience. Okay. Finally, flutter kicks. Lie flat on your back, legs straight, hands under hips. Lift your legs slightly and alternately kick them up and down in a small, controlled motion. In flutter kicks, maintain your lower back pressed into the floor and your core engaged. Focus on small, controlled kicks from your hips, not your knees. Remember to maintain rhythm and core engagement while breathing continuously during the flutter kicks. The setup for flutter kicks is to lie flat on your back with legs straight and hands under your hips for support. Lift your legs slightly before beginning the small, controlled, alternating up and down kicking motion. Continue the flutter kicks, maintaining control and keeping your core engaged. Breathe continuously. No matter your race, your age, or your gender, strength is your birthright. Muscle does not discriminate. Discipline does not exclude. Power belongs to those who train for it. Atlas Exercise.